around for guns.
Hey, Sim! Look! You want to take me out to a barn dance?
Where did you get those things?
In there.
Who's Jack Elam? Get me a Jack Elam. Get me a Jack Elam type. Get me a young Jack Elam. Who's Jack Elam? William Scott, Jack Elam, 1920 to 2003, was a film and TV actor, known for his many roles as villains in Western films and later in his career, comedies. Before his acting career, Elam was a bookkeeper at the Bank of America in Los Angeles and an auditor for the Standard Oil Company. Served for 2 years during World War II in the United States Navy, after becoming an independent accountant in Hollywood. One of his clients was movie mogul Samuel Goldwyn. He was also the manager of the Hotel Bel Air in Los Angeles. Performing in 73 movies and in at least 41 television series, Elam made his debut in 1949's She Should Have Said No, an exploitation film in which a chorus girl's habitual marijuana smoking ruins her career, driving her brother to suicide. Around this time, however, Elam appeared mostly in gangster and western films, usually as a villain. Many guest starring appearances on many popular western series on TV in the 1950s and 60s, including Gunsmoke,
Stand back.
Lawman, The Rifleman, Bonanza, Cheyenne, Have Gun Will Travel, The Rebel, Zorro, The Lone Ranger, F Troop, Tales of Wells Fargo, The Texan, and Rawhide. In 1961, he played a slightly crazed bus passenger on the Twilight Zone episode Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? Also that year, he portrayed the Mexican historical figure Juan Cortina in The General Without a Cause, an episode of the anthology series Death Valley Days in 1962. Elam appeared on Lawman as Paul Henry in the episode titled Cloutey Hutter. Elam received a rare chance to play a good guy. Reformed gunfighter and Deputy U.S. Marshal J.D. Smith in 1963 in the series The Dakotas, a western intended as the successor of Cheyenne. The Dakotas ran for 19 episodes, then cast as George Taggart, a gunslinger turned marshal, in the 1963 to 1964 series Temple Houston. Jack was given his first comedic role with Clint Walker in the western film The Night of the Grizzly in 1966. Elam had a cameo in Sergio Leone's celebrated spaghetti western Once Upon a Time in the West in 1968. He played one of the gunslingers who was sent to kill Charles Bronson's character. He appeared in The Way West with Robert Mitchum, Richard Widmark, and Kirk Douglas as the light-hearted preacher Weatherby, taking part in the wagon train on the Oregon Trail in 1967. He played a comedy role in Support Your Local Sheriff in 1969, followed up 2 years later with Support Your Local Gunfighter, both with James Garner. After his performances in those films, Elam found his comic roles increasing. Both films were also directed by Burt Kennedy, who had seen Elam's potential in comedy. directing him a total of 15 times in television and features. He also played a comically cranky old coot in Rio Lobo opposite John Wayne, 1970. In 1974-75, he was cast as Zach Wheeler in the comedy series The Texas Wheelers. He played the long-lost father returning home to raise his 4 children after their mother died.
History, Texas! No sooner had I capped my bean well than up came another one of them blue northers. I barely had time to crawl into my cellar. When I climbed out, I found out that norther had blowed all my pigs into my bean well, and it was pumping pure grade pork and beans!
He was cast as Frankenstein's monster in the sitcom Struck by Lightning in 1979. After only 3 episodes, the show was cancelled.
Caretaker. Jack Elam
In the first episode of Home Improvement, alongside Ernest Borgnine.
That thing power to weight ratio can do 0 to 60 in 10 seconds.
Playing Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, an eccentric doctor in the movie The Cannonball Run, 1981, returning in the same role in the film's sequel, Cannonball Run 2. Elam played Charlie in the weird western film The Aurora Encounter in 1985. Elam developed what would become a lifelong relationship with an 11-year-old boy named Mickey Hayes, who suffered from progeria. The documentary, I Am Not a Freak, portrays the friendship between Hayes and Elam. Jack said, "You know, I've met a lot of people, but I've never met anybody that got next to me like you, Mickey." Elam also co-starred on the short-lived comedy series Easy Street as Alvin Bully Stevenson in 1986, the down-on-his-luck uncle of Lonnie Anderson's character L.K. Maguire. Jack co-starred with Willie Nelson in the movie Where the Hell's That Gold in 1988.
He is.
Delta Burke is Germany.
Stage name, but it's stuck. What about you two? What are you doing here?
It's a long story. You got anything white? Our underwear. Wave it.
Run the rebel lines, fight off the white mountain Apaches, and hand the
I say that's the way to run a railroad.
Inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in 1994. Now let's talk about that eye. Elam suffered a severe injury to his left eye in 1931 during an altercation with another boy. The injury blinded him in that eye and permanently damaged the muscles surrounding it. As Jack grew older, the impaired muscles caused his eye increasingly to drift within its socket and not track in unison with his right eye, often giving him a cockeyed appearance. Elam's eye proved to be a career advantage, for despite any lifelong disadvantages that his lazy eye created for him personally, it proved to be an asset professionally, at least as a performer. His eye's distinctive appearance, combined with Elam's natural acting ability, drew the attention of many casting directors of films and television series throughout the 1950s and 1960s. If you like this video, take a look at my channel. See the link in the description. There are tons of interesting videos on famous actors and movies. Thank you for your time today. I hope you learned something about Jack Elam. Please drop me your comments. I appreciate likes, shares, and subscribers. They help me a lot. Bye for now.
I think 1950 or 1949 with Tyrone Power and Susan Hayward. And in that one, I had the privilege of shooting at the feet of a little 1-year-old baby to make her dance.
Well, let's get to it. 10 steps?
Suits me. You count 'em. You ain't thought of another way, have you?
I can't come up with nothing.
Interesting facts about famous people.